Greetings, brothers and sisters. It's me, Lori Ann Spagna of LoriSpagna.com, here with you today to chat briefly with you about a topic that is near and dear to my heart, and I think is near and dear to your heart too. And that is the topic area of truly aligning with your soul's divine path. What is alignment? What does it mean? And how do we align with the divine? And why it's been, in a sense, so discredited. The thing is in the physical world, we've really discredited alignment because we've been so confused about what alignment means. And I think perhaps different people have different definitions of what alignment is and what it means. In my reality, and what I understand, is that at the center core of our being, the center core of all that is just pure consciousness. And that pure consciousness, in a sense, is just here now all the time. But because we're functioning in this physical world where there's just so much going on all the time, we're always constantly being distracted. And what happens is we bump into people, places, situations, circumstances, and scenarios. Things are happening in our lives that kind of fragment us. They fragment us in some way. We get upset or bothered by something, or something doesn't go our way, or there's some kind of challenge or obstacle, or some kind of hurdle, or some kind of major distraction, or some kind of upset, or we're rushing to get somewhere, or we're rushing against time, the linear time game, or things go on in the physical world. There's chaos in the physical world, lots of crazy things happening right now, right? Banks collapsing and viruses going on and mudslides and all kinds of like earth calamities and things. And we get caught up in all of that. And so in that case, we get misaligned, and then we're trying to figure out through our brains like what's going on in our world, and we're starving for some kind of love, some kind of peace, some kind of happiness, some kind of joy, some kind of fulfillment, something that feels like it's lacking in our experience. So then we go on quests and searches to try to find it somewhere out there, somewhere, somehow, in someone or something. And all of this just leads to greater fragmentation, where we're just fractalizing, we're just leaving bits of our energy, our life force here, there, and everywhere. And then we may interact with somebody who kind of like dumps on us too, or we might just watch like, the toxic news channels on TV, for anyone who does that, and then not understand why we feel so much worse that day. Or maybe we just interact with some fear-based fear porn, even if it's on YouTube or somewhere else, and we interact with that, and then we have this kind of like experience where there's a sort of self-sabotaging experience where we just allow ourselves to be brought down by it, or somehow, we're just hung down. Or maybe there is some kind of astrological shift or astrological planetary change. I think at the time that I'm recording this right now, there's Saturn is shifting and Pluto is shifting. Maybe we got some kind of astrological reading that said it's going to be really hard for us, and we bought into that and believed it. I know for myself, I started giving all my power away to astrology many lifetimes ago, and I have been spending this lifetime, a lot of it, really resolving that for myself. So I'm no longer giving my power away to these planets. Part of my channeling is like interacting with them directly as conscious beings, so we can really receive the gifts of consciousness, so that we're no longer like sabotaged by them, right? So all these things are happening in our field, and we don't get realigned. And because our physical world doesn't teach us how to be aligned, and for the most part, most religious doctrine, not all, but a lot of it does sort of teach us to kind of go to some false sky god. I call it a false sky god. And that gets kind of scripted into our DNA from many lifetimes, that this false sky god is somewhere out there. So we're just projecting everything into our physical external world. And this is how we get misaligned. And then on top of that, we have these major energy centers of our body, which Western medicine doesn't even recognize. We call them chakras, right? But they're very real energy centers. And these energy centers get just filled up with all kinds of density. It's sort of like, I use this analogy very often. You may have heard me say this before. If you don't floss your teeth every day, you're going to get tartar built up in there. It's the same thing with our energy centers. They just take on and they store up things sort of like emotions or pain or some form of trauma. And we're not clearing that stuff out. And so we're functioning in that energy space of that form of density. All of this stuff is misalignment. It's like we're just, all these energetics are just, all these factors are just all in our field everywhere. And because we're functioning in this physical world with just like regular 3D physical eyesight, we haven't opened or accessed more of our multidimensional awareness. We don't see or realize these things are just keeping us misaligned. And then we don't understand why something we want to have or do or be or experience or achieve isn't falling into place for us. And because we just can't tell, we just can't see that there's just energetic interference or distractions or some kind of trauma or some kind of wounding or some kind of upset. And so if you're like me, you're relentlessly going after this, like you're a seeker, right? You want to heal and resolve whatever these things are so that you can come into alignment, because alignment is really where all of these fractalized aspects of us, all of these wounded parts of us, all of these traumas, all of these upsets, all of these interferences, entities, or, it's just out of our field. And then we're clear and aligned, right? We come back to that space within that is here now. And nothing out there matters anymore, because we start realizing that everything we've been seeking, it's available to us from within us, from that here now space where we are aligned, where we come into the center core of our being, which is the center core of all that is. This takes practice. It does require a healing journey. It is a spiritual practice and process. It's available to all of us. And that's where, once we come into alignment, we no longer have all of this stuff everywhere interfering in our experience, distracting us, calling attention, upsetting us, bothering us, creating dramas, traumas in the external world. All that stuff is gone. And that's where we can be in that stillness. Through our own sacred heart center, we find the here now within, where we have all of the peace, all of the love, all of the joy, all of the fulfillment we've been searching for. We stop looking outside of ourselves. And then from here, we have the incredible, unlimited potential to awaken whatever wants to be birthed through us. And whatever that is all of our greatest gifts, talents, and abilities, our superhuman abilities, whether it's you as an empath, an intuitive, a healer, a light worker, or anything else. It doesn't even have to be the metaphysical gifts. It can be your voice. You might be a singer. You might be someone who does light language. You might be a beautiful author expressing on the page. You might be finally able to write that book that you've always wanted to write. I've had many people come to my DNA activation webinars, and they've said to me, like, that book finally got written right after that DNA activation call. They'd be up all night and they just didn't stop. They just kept going. The momentum carried them. So whatever your gifts are, it doesn't necessarily mean just light worker types of gifts. It could be everyday gifts. Maybe it's your ability to finally, get the promotion in whatever job or career you're in that you love, that you finally resolved your own issues of worth and value so that you could have that. Or maybe finally you were able to heal and resolve your relationship issues with your family. I know that's been part of my journey. Or maybe, because that was like my greatest pain in this lifetime, was just my family dynamics were so painful to me. And I spent such a huge amount of my life healing and resolving. And I eventually reached a point I just didn't even think it was going to be resolved. And finally, it was like that was what it took to get to that last bit of healing and resolving those issues, so that now I have a beautiful family relationship, so deeply connected and divinely aligned with my family members. And I never thought that was possible. So this is why I know this stuff works. I know it works. It's so real. It's so fabulous and effective. And I just want more of humanity to realize how powerful this is. But this is what it means when we come into alignment, because from this sacred heart center, from this inner stillness, from this peace, this harmony, this joy, this love that we finally find within, then we begin to cultivate those gifts, those amazing gifts that we have, and talents and abilities, and what we're here. You might be someone who's here to facilitate a new movie channel that finally brings consciousness through movies. Or maybe you're here to, if it's not the communication arts, it could be anything. Maybe you are a Western doctor or a medical practitioner or a healer of some kind who really wants to integrate more of a holistic approach into Western medicine. Maybe that's what you're here for. Maybe what you're here for is to create corn oil for cars, or a new form of technology that really will serve the collective and the greater good as we move into the new age that's upon us. Whatever it is you're here for, that will be birthed from within you, through you, once you get into that sacred, that space, that alignment. This is why alignment is so important, because everything that's not in alignment are the distractions of our lives, and the challenges and the troubles and the problems and all of that stuff, the suffering, the wounding, the pain. Like that's all the stuff in the field that's keeping us from alignment. But at the same time, it's one of those, as above, so below, both are true. At the same time, as we come into alignment, all those things get resolved. And that's when we really reclaim our divine power to unify with our source that supplies us with everything we need and births from within us everything we're here to bring forward. And I will tell you that once that gets birthed, you start living life free of fear. All along that journey, fear no longer can control you, but you're living life free of fear, because you're here for a reason. You have purpose, you have meaning here, and there's something here that you're here to offer that is the divine working through you. That's what we all have. That's what we're awakening at this time. That's what we're cultivating. But it does have to come through right alignment, which happens through a healing journey where we go through our own transformation in our unique ways. And this is what I help people with. This is what I've been doing for myself, for my animals, and for my students and clients, friends and colleagues. All my friends, they all come to me for this stuff, right? All of my colleagues, they come to me for this stuff. And I love it. It's just my joy. It is so joyful. It's my happiness and joy to be able to do this work, to be able to facilitate and assist others in their awakening journey. People like you who are passionate, courageous, going for it seekers, not people who are just sitting on the sidelines and passively hoping something's going to change. People who really are going for it, like you, who really want, because I know that's who I am. That's who my friends and colleagues are. We all really are going for it. And I just love that. So if you're interested in more of that, please first leave comments in the section below about what you want to heal, address, resolve, what you want to bring into alignment, what you're working on bringing into alignment, because I will look at those comments and do videos to support and assist our community. And I'll put those videos on the YouTube channel, because healing can happen through the videos. In 20 minutes, we can get to root core issues of whatever it is that's keeping you out of alignment, and whatever it is you need to be bringing in to bring you into alignment. Because sometimes it's downloads, transmissions, activations, healings. Those are awesome things too, right? When we just get and claim gifts, get and claim and receive like lessons learned, so we don't have to keep learning them. Like, we don't have to keep learning lessons. We just need to receive those gifts so that we don't have to keep learning lessons. So put all that stuff in the comments below. Let me know what that is. I will do videos on this channel to support and assist you in your healing journey, and so that you can get those downloads, healings, transmissions that you need and deserve and really require, so that you can really have, be, do, heal, resolve, and achieve whatever it is you're here for. And so that you can birth through what you're meant to birth through for your service, mission, and purpose in being here, what the divine wants to birth through you as you come into alignment. So I can support and assist you in that. It is my love and my joy to do that, my happiness, my fulfillment, to be of service and contribution in that way. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you're working on. And also, if you want to work with me more directly, please feel free to head over to LoriSpagna.com. First, tons of gifts over there to help you. DNA activations, free gifts, and working with your animals, learning animal communication, telepathy, accessing more of your psychic intuitive gifts, talents, and abilities, working with the Akashic records, working with your star family. I talked about activating your DNA. Like, all those gifts are there to really facilitate for you, to help you. And also, I have a sacred mentorship for people like us who are on our journey, passionate and courageous seekers, awakeners who really truly want to accelerate our journey in a highly accelerated way, who are not willing to just sit on the sidelines and wait, who really are going for it. So that sacred mentorship is incredible. It's all about working together on these things to heal and resolve and address these issues, and also awaken our greatest gifts, our dormant potential, which includes our abilities to bring forward what we're here to birth, whether it is something more of the spiritual realm, like animal communication, telepathy, intuitive development, empathic sensitivity, mediumship, working with the records, all that stuff. Or if it's more really bringing something into the physical world that is more of the mainstream, whether it's your dreams fulfilled, whatever that is for you, this is what we're working on in that sacred mentorship. So I hope you'll join me there. That's over at LoriSpagna.com. And finally, once a year, for the animal lovers out there, just like me, I do an sacred animal mentorship, where we're working with the consciousness of animals. We're developing our abilities to communicate telepathically with animals, and developing our extrasensory abilities to work with the animals, and to really utilize the secret energy of love that animals speak universally, that they already know and they're teaching us, and to really work with all the virtues that they already embody. So we cultivate our abilities to interact with them telepathically, and to work and heal with them energetically, healing with them and interacting, because they know they have so many gifts for us to awaken within ourselves, that they're here to serve as divine messengers too. So that's over at LoriSpagna.com. That's the sacred mentorship with animals. Okay, with that, I'm going to sign up for now. I love you guys so much. I'm so grateful to all of you courageous, passionate light workers and seekers who really, truly are divinely aligning with your path and want to align more fully, wholly, and completely with the divinity that is in you, so that you can truly, really birth that divine fulfillment for the whole of humanity, for yourself and others, right? Okay, love you guys so much. I'll see you next time. Farewell for now. Bye-bye.